Your Excellency, Minister Yannis Karoussos, Your Excellency Kyriakos Haji Yannis, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our event focusing on virtual and smart cultural tourism, which is in cooperation with the Time Machine organization under the project Virtual and Smart Cultural Tourism, financed by the DG Regio of the European Commission. I would like to start by giving you a short introduction before I will give the floor to our distinguished guests for their welcome notes. What's all about in this virtual and smart tourism workshop today, and why we are here? A very famous person 2,500 years ago said a very famous quote, which is here: declare the past, diagnose the present, and foretell the future. That's really very old time period ago. That's from the time of the invention of democracy in ancient Greece. That comes from Hippocrates. Hippocrates, the father of medicine. I took that as a metaphoric expression of this, what it's all about today. Declare the past, diagnose the present, and take action for the future. Now, if we declare the past, have access to the past, have access to the knowledge, have access to the memory, to the identity, but how? You have to digitize it. Otherwise, the access, it's in an analog way. And by digitizing means we have to be in the position to process it. And how? By using the power of ICT and to have it under open access. Otherwise, digitizing and keep it as a record of memory on our auspices, on our authorities, it doesn't help a lot. But diagnose the present. Yeah, we know that we have the current pandemic situation. There is nothing to be said about that. Everybody knows where we are. But last year, the year is going to be in the history, not only because of the pandemic. That was the year of the revolution of ICT, since ICT existed in this world, on Earth. And the century, the 21st century, has been declared already, the digital century. The challenges which we are facing now, we faced, of course, last year, facing now for traveling and accommodation abroad, to go, to visit, to be a tourist, yeah. And the given opportunities in Cyprus, the region, I highlight the word the region, that's an initiative coming from the Directorate General of Regional Investment, from Europe, and of course, the world as such.
Hello, everybody.
More about
Good morning to everybody. Stavros Mikhail speaking, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of
earlier,
Transport, Communication and Work.
Excuse me if I will ask our colleague Stavros to mute the phone, the microphone. That will be nice. Yes. Now, sorry for the interruption. Now, about the future, to foretell the future, that's now all about, and I will leave it to my colleague Sandra Münster, who is going to present the initiative, who is going to give us a detailed overview about this, what is coming now. And I would like to ask the representative or the minister, if the minister is now online, because we got the message 2 hours ago that the minister probably is not going to be online, but he's going to be represented from the from his second in the hierarchy at the ministry, permanent secretary. If he's online, to unmute his microphone and give his welcome.
Κύριε Ιωαννίδη, ο Κυριακός ο Χατζηγιάννης είμαι. Αν δεν μπορεί το Υπουργείο να προχωρήσω εγώ μέχρι να βρει...
Ναι. Παρακαλώ, προχωρήστε εσείς κύριε Χατζηγιάννη. Ναι. Ευχαριστούμε που είσαστε εγγυημένοι.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear guests, dear participants. I am pleased to address today's online meeting on virtual and small cultural tourism. It is a fact that the pandemic has highlighted information technology and the internet as the most important tool for bridging the gap caused by the inevitable social distance and restricting traffic to and from various destinations around the world. Tourism is a strategic sector that is one of the largest contributors to our country's economic growth. Cyprus is largely dependent on tourism. Its sustainability, since 30% of its GDP comes from tourism. In this context, as a potential sector, tourism can open job vacancies, foster a healthy investment climate, and also can increase the economic growth of Cyprus significantly. Various efforts have been launched and implemented by the government, in this case, the Ministry of Tourism. Online promotion efforts have also been increased through social media, networks, and various other means by implementing information technology systems. The development of increasingly sophisticated information technology currently plays a strategic role in helping to facilitate developing smart tourism using virtual reality as a tourist promotion strategy in Cyprus tourists and touristic stakeholders in obtaining actual information about tourist destinations, including their facilities, accessibility, and amenities provided. The role of information technology in tourist development strategies, both in the world and in Cyprus, is recognized as the most strategic tool in increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of tourist destination promotion. Information technology is not only an instrument in the fundamental function of information and communication, but technology has also become a transformational tool in the structure and operations of the tourism industry, as well as the roles and functions of tourism stakeholders. Unique and different tourist characteristics, such as historical tourism, cultural tourism, religious tourism, and marine tourism, which are spread across Cyprus, could become a significant tourist attraction for the income of the island. In addition, the use of information technology in tourist development strategies, such as the concept of smart tourism, is still not a strategic platform for tourism development in Cyprus. In addition to our sun and seas, tourists come to Cyprus to learn about our culture. Given this fact, new commercial innovative models should be introduced in order to make the most of the potential provided by technology. A way could be created to validate and promote our culture through the digital world. The aim should be to attract people who seek to learn information about our culture through the creation of an innovative model that brings out new business practices and products. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I wish you all the best for this excellent idea as a webinar. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hadjiyannis. It's highly appreciated, especially the fact that you are now on the move and you stopped to give your contribution. Thank you very much, and we do hope to have your full support, especially from the Parliament, from your new position. By the way, congratulations for the new positions where you are now since once a month. And thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, and allow me, Mr. Ioannidis, to add only one phrase. We will continue with the support of this promotion of the cultural heritage and the promotion, and also in relation to tourism. As the responsible committee of the Parliament, we stay all the time to your disposal, to the disposal of your university. Thank you very much, and also for the chair, because you are chair of the UNESCO base in your university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hadjiyannis, also for your kind words and all the support. We are looking forward to a future close collaboration. Thanks a lot. Now we are moving to our actually first guest, the representative of the Minister of Transport, Communications and Works, Mr. Yannis Karousos, who is the permanent secretary of the ministry, the second most important person, Mr. Stavros Michail. Mr. Michail, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate you about this initiative, and allow me to read the address by my minister, Mr. Karousos, Minister of Transport, Communication and Works. It is with great pleasure that I take part in this virtual Smart Cultural Tourism workshop organized by the UNESCO Chair on Digital Culture Heritage of Cyprus University of Technology on behalf of the Minister of Transport, Communication and Works, Mr. Yannis Karousos. Our ministry is the predominant authority within the Republic of Cyprus for the adoption and accomplishment of developmental strategies in Cyprus. In order to achieve our goals and objectives, we collaborate with other stakeholders from both the public and the private sector, while one of our primary objectives is to build and expand synergies with private businesses and academic and research institutions. Within this context, tourism is also one of the key sectors that we focus on in close collaboration with the Deputy Ministry of Tourism. In this broader context, cultural tourism, which is the focus of this workshop, is also one of our main goals, as it falls within the strategic planning of the Department of Antiquities. I believe it is common ground that it is the Department of Antiquities which oversees and controls the protection, management, research, preservation, and promotion of the cultural heritage in Cyprus. For those who do not already know, the Department of Antiquities is under the Ministry of Transport, Communication and Works. On this basis, according to the Antiquities Law, Chapter 31, the Department of Antiquities directs its efforts and activities towards protecting, conserving, and upgrading the archaeological sites, the monuments, and museums throughout the island. In the last years, great emphasis is put on the creation of management studies and museum studies for the archaeological sites and the museum respectively, also in collaboration with internationally renowned institutions and experts. Cultural tourism is certainly tightly affiliated with this role of the Department of Antiquities, as it takes great concern in producing and disseminating activities aiming at the promotion of our cultural heritage, as well as in advancing digitization and producing visitor management strategy as part of these studies. It is perhaps important to note that as from the beginning of 2021, the ministry, together with the department, has initiated the policy for providing free access to all museums across Cyprus. This policy aims at developing the relationship between the society and our cultural heritage. Moreover, certain monuments are being provided after request and permission for weddings, thus attracting more visitors within the realm of alternative forms of tourism. Given these novelties in policies, the end result of the use of new technologies aiming at advancing virtual and smart tourism can absolutely act as promoters and increase visitization of archaeological sites, monuments, and museums. Furthermore, the department takes part in institutions of the Council of Europe and in discussions of the European Commission focusing on the development of strategies on cultural heritage, including its protection and promotion. Equally important is the collaboration with international organizations or heritage such as UNESCO, ICC Rome, ICOMOS, and ICOM. On this basis, the Department of Antiquities is being directly informed on the relevant advances and promotes cultural heritage at a local, European, and international level. Moreover, it collaborates with academic and research institutions from Cyprus and abroad and gives permission for the conduct of funded research for further advancing studies aiming at preserving and promoting cultural heritage. To this end, the use of new technology is crucial for achieving state-of-the-art results for the utmost promotion of heritage and for providing accessibility to the entire society, including people with disabilities. All these activities, of course, aim at expanding the visitor's experience and at allowing the presentation of vast archaeological data, which may ultimately increase the public interest in heritage, as well as raise awareness of the need to protect it. The first such activity, albeit not linked with smart technology, was the creation of auto guides for Cyprus Museum in Nicosia. Moreover, acknowledging the need to incorporate virtual and smart technologies in our strategic planning, the department has recently proceeded with establishing a wireless Wi-Fi internet connection to all sites open to the public. In case, such as in the archaeological site of Nea Paphos, this connection has been reinforced with the establishment of antennas so as to allow a wider use of such necessary facilities. Similar technological advances will also be established in all museums once the audio guides and other programs currently being produced are implemented. At this stage, it is important to underline that the department employs these strategies for archaeological sites, monuments, and museums across the island, including those belonging to the UNESCO World Heritage, as well as those that are less well known. A major project aiming at advancing cultural tourism was initially put forward by UNESCO and National Geographic, funded by the European Union in 2017, entitled World Heritage Journeys. Cyprus, and more specifically the Department of Antiquities, together with the Deputy Ministry of Tourism, takes part in this initiative, which aims at advancing quality tourism based on World Heritage sites from across Europe. Thus, an electronic platform has been created which propose 4 itineraries, the Romanic route, in which we take part with the World Heritage site of Paphos as the birthplace of Aphrodite, the ancient route, the royal, and the underground route. What is significant about this project is the fact that it brings together all kinds of heritage, including natural, tangible, and intangible, gastronomy, traditions, local industries, etc. Most importantly, it has the ability to expand also by adding virtual projects and smart elements to make the formation more attractive. Another important project focusing on an UNESCO World Heritage site is the one conducted in collaboration with the Cyprus Institute, involving the 10 Byzantine and post-Byzantine churches on the Troodos Mountain. 3D reconstructions have been produced as part of this project, which will form the basis for further dissemination of value presented by these unique World Heritage monuments. For example, these new data may be used for proposing routes in collaboration with the Office of the Commissioner for the Development of Mountain Communities on Troodos, for highlighting the significance of these monuments with their wider and diverse settings. Another research project in which the department is a partner directly linked with smart technology is the Enter CY Enhancing Tourism Experience in Cyprus project. The proposal was first evaluated in the ranking of evaluation in the priority sector for tourism under the integrated projects funded by the Research and Innovation Foundation at the national level with a sponsoring of €1 million. The Frederick Research Center, it is a coordinator of the project and the network of the 9 collaborating organizations. The project aims to stimulate one of the main pillars of Cypriot economy, that of tourism, through research, technological development, and innovation. And most importantly, aims to develop an innovative platform for the promotion of Cyprus as a quality tourist destination. Specifically, emphasis is placed on promoting the rich history and cultural heritage of Cyprus in combination with its natural beauty, as well as the variety of activities and entertainment it offers. This will be achieved by enhancing the experience of tourists before, during, and after their visit to Cyprus, using cutting-edge information and communication technologies. The platform will consist of a virtual reality online environment with space-time navigation and augmented reality for smart mobile devices, which will be supported by, among others, machine learning technologies, indoor geolocation techniques, big data management, and immersive reality. Thus, tourists interested in visiting Cyprus will be informed about the rich cultural heritage of Cyprus, as well as about various activities and attractions through virtual exploration before their arrival and during their stay in site. By the end of July 2021, a test version of new virtual platform and mobile application to promote Cyprus as a premium destination and attract new forms of tourism will be released. Enter CY project promises to immerse the visitor in Cyprus experience before, during, and after visit with access of the virtual reality web platform and the ability of download the augmented reality smartphone applications, both for Android and iOS, from various stores. Moreover, these personalized journeys will include recommendations for archaeological sites, activities, venues, and services. The application will provide descriptive information about the history of Cyprus through narrations and audio guides. So far, around 70 sites, 15 videos, 50 storytelling and audio guides, 150 images, and 40 3D models have been included in the platform. Users are able to visit the VR platform and register and then set up a profile and explore Cyprus virtually. Users can also install the new application, plan a journey, personal recommendation, enjoy AR content, and collect a personalized 360 video. It is important to note that the first part of the project, the virtual reality platform and the augmented reality smartphone application, will be released in the end of July this year. The consortium of Enter CY project, which constitute the required for this project's Garter Helix synergy, consists of the following: A, Research Center's FRC coordinator and the University of Cyprus; B, policymakers, Department of Antiquities and Deputy Ministry of Tourism; C, enterprises, Cyprus Research and Innovation Center, Servicing 3D and IMAs; D, organization in the wider society, Cyprus Guide Association and Cyprus Travel Agents Association. Another project aiming at advancing cultural heritage and tourism through the use of new technology is the DigiArt project, i.e. a digital art of cultural between Greece and Cyprus for the preservation and promotion of the medieval cultural heritage in Aegean and Cyprus. The Department of Antiquities take part in this project together with the Cyprus University of Technology and Ministry of Culture of Greece. The aim is to document medieval monuments, including towers and castles in roads in Cyprus by the use of smart technology so as to attract more visitors in monuments which are less known to the wider public through their digital representation. I hope that following this brief presentation, it will have become apparent that the policy of the Ministry of Transport, Communication and Works regarding cultural tourism, together with the Department of Antiquities, bear tangible results through important actions, activities, projects, and synergies. It is our belief that through establishing strong networks and collaborations, and by the wise use of new technology, aiming at highlighting the aspects and the heritage values that come forward by archaeological research and not by mere assumption on one hand, and by acknowledging the real needs and challenges on the other, we may advance cultural heritage and promote our heritage riches and values with clear economic and social benefits. To achieve such fruitful results, it is of course important to submit the outputs of such projects to the Department of Antiquities, so as they directed from the better management, protection and promotion of the cultural heritage of our island. I thank you for this invitation, and I look forward to establishing further synergies aiming at further development, quality cultural tourism, and socio-economic phases of Cyprus as a whole. Thank you very much. The speech was a little longer than I was imagining. Thank you for your patience, and I am here to listen to the rest of the workshop.
Mr. Mikhail, thank you very much. Thanks also for the kind words, and congratulations for all the achievements. Happy to see the Department of Antiquities, your ministry, the government of Cyprus are moving forward in the digital era, take the challenges, the opportunities given at the moment, and promoting our story and our country in the best possible way. Thanks again. And we are moving now to the next speaker. As I mentioned at the beginning, we had a small change. Actually, now we had to have our colleague, Professor Sander Münster from the Time Machine Organization to give an introduction to the initiative, to the project. But we are moving to Mrs. Maria Stylianou Michailidou, who is the General Manager of the Limassol Tourism Company, and to give us her presentation. Mrs. Stylianou, sorry for the delay. We know you are in a hurry, but we are very thankful that you are with us today, and that you want to share with us all this, what you are doing there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me, first of all, and congratulations to the organizers of this initiative, a very important initiative. Welcome all to the presentation, Digitization of Special Interest Tourism, the Limassol case. We are the official tourism authority of Limassol, and we deal with not only the tourist area or the city, but the outskirts, the communities, the villages as well. So we'll take you through our experience after we take note of a few facts. First of all, the fact that interest in special interest tourism is growing. We do see signs of significant growth, especially after the health crisis has started. We also see higher demand for personalized and tailor-made experiences versus the grouped mass experiences and tours we had in the past, and a rise of online bookings. I think it's a fact for all of us that we do spend more time on our screens, our mobile or tablet or desktop than before, and not only to make bookings, but also to search. So starting from the first fact, we expect to have a 22% increase in special interest tourism this year. This is a very huge increase, and I think this is the time we have to provide digital tools for our special interest options available in Cyprus, and in our case in Limassol. Now, research shows that this interest is growing. It matches not only the needs and the preferences of people because of the pandemic, being outdoor in smaller groups, feeling safer away from a lot of people. It's also evident of the behavior of younger generations that are now becoming travelers. So this is something to keep an eye on. Also, the fact that people are asking for personalized tools. This is proved by what we search on Google. From Think with Google, we identify that 57% of travelers are looking for more personalized experiences, not ready-made packages to join. And lastly, the rise of online bookings. 82% of travel bookings were made in 2018, and take into consideration that a lot of people search online and then they book with their agent. So even if the booking is not online, before the booking, there was online research. Therefore, it becomes evident that we do have to come to put into use contemporary tools and give digital options to our travelers to identify what we have available and to make their plans accordingly. So as a regional tourist board, we are taking 3 steps in this direction. First of all, we develop
Mrs. Michailidou,
yes.
there are some interruptions on internet. I don't know if you have any other devices next to you sharing the same line, the same bandwidth. If yes, it will be nice if you turn them off.
Okay, it's just my mobile. I'll just switch that off if that's going to improve the.
Yes, because the connection is going up and down, which means you share your bandwidth with someone else.
My mobile is off, so please let me know if you continue having problems in this connection.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, the interruption.
Of course. So moving on to our step 3. We have to promote these products, these special interest products, to the traveler, both when the traveler is abroad making plans and when the traveler is already here in Cyprus. A few examples. We have created new hiking routes. And when I say we have created, I don't mean that we made interventions in natural environments, but we mapped the possible route. And we have installed very distinct signs for travelers to follow. Load the map and follow the route without the need of any infrastructure in between. We have also upgraded our walking paths. Limassol has a beautiful walking path by the sea, a coastal path, and we have added benches and beams, whatever is necessary in cooperation with the local authorities to maintain the paths. We have also created numerous cycling routes in the area of Limassol, mostly in the outskirts, and this is a growing sector. And for people that are not expert cyclists, we have installed bike racks at the back of rural buses, so someone can put a bicycle on the bus, travel to Agros village, for example, and make a cycling excursion in that area, and then return by bus. So we also encourage multimodal modes. Wine routes. Limassol has a number of wine villages in the area, and also Kumandaria villages, our special Cyprus wine. We have created routes in these areas for people that love wine and they want to experience the whole wine production process. Numerous options are available, both online and offline. Religious routes to visit our monasteries, churches, ecclesiastical museums. So this is an example of a 22-kilometer route in the area of West Limassol. It's also providing information for people that want to walk this route, people that want to take a bicycle and follow this route, and also people that want to take a car and do the same. The city center also provides a number of sites. We have created a circular walking route. This is very useful, especially for people that are coming from the Limassol port. Our cruise line visitors, they are in Limassol for a few hours. So when they take the shuttle bus from the port to visit the town, they have information to walk or take a bicycle and follow the circular route to visit a number of sites of the center. At this point, let me point out that Limassol is built between two ancient kingdoms. So the whole area is full of cultural treasures, and we are trying to put this together with cycling, with hiking, with interest in religious tourism, in order to combine what we have and offer the best and richest experiences to our visitors. Moving on, another initiative of the Limassol Tourist Board, we have mapped all the art workshops and galleries in the center of the town. And with the orange dots on this map, you can see the routes available. There is a combination of routes, and people can adapt the itinerary, the route, according to their preferences. So they can choose, for example, the arts they prefer and make their route accordingly. Diving routes. We created routes underwater as well to promote diving and snorkeling. We have 2 artificial reefs in our region and also a lot of natural diving sites. So we have mapped these sites. We provide information for people to visit them. And let me also add that one of the artificial reefs is in the area where we have the ancient port of Amathunda. So they can go underwater and visit an archaeological site. To assist people with mobility problems, we do have equipment free of charge, both wheelchairs for sea use and also the sea bobs, the one you see in this picture here, to assist people that have mobility issues to also enjoy these experiences. To bring all of this together, we have created an interactive map where you can filter according to your preferences and create your own personalized, tailor-made routes. To go back to what we said in the beginning. This information is also available on our website with emphasis on special interests and culture. An application has been created. It's the Limassol Guide that also assists people that are looking on their mobile devices. And this application provides information in many languages. We have created an application especially on how to travel around Limassol. On this application, you can see real-time information on public transport. So you know at what exact time the bus will arrive at the bus stop. So you can make your planning accordingly. Where to find a bicycle to rent. Where you can park your rented car. Where there is beach access for people with disabilities, where you can charge an electric vehicle, and where to find the different landmarks, the different cultural sites in the area. So we are trying to make it easy for people to travel around. This is our application currently under development about diving sites, including the archaeological site underwater in Amathus area. Of course, all these products are promoted on our social media on a regular basis, and a lot of material has been created, including VR technology, 360 photos, applications we saw earlier. So we keep up with technology to provide promotional material and to campaign all these experiences. Supportive services to what we are doing are bike sharing, the opportunity to take a bike for a few hours and be charged a small amount of money to travel around. Car sharing, another option for our visitors. We have installed a telematics system in the Limassol region at 40 bus stops that enable people to see how long they have to wait for the next bus. Inside the buses, TFT displays show the next stops and the sites to visit in each area, the events and happenings in that area. So we provide information, real-time information that is useful to enrich the experience of the visitor. We have also installed free Wi-Fi on a number of buses to enable people to, this works as an incentive to encourage younger people especially to use public transport. And on this note, I would like to thank you for your attention. You can go on all these tools so we have explained to see and have an experience of what we are doing. Of course, so I'm available for any additional information to anyone. My email address is on the screen. Thank you again for your attention, and I wish you all the best for this workshop and for the project itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stylianou. It's highly appreciated, and congratulations for all the work that you've done here in our city. We are not so far away from each other. It will be nice to meet and talk. I think that we have a lot to collaborate. We're looking forward. Thanks once again, and we are looking forward to meet you, to see you soon. Now we are moving to our next speaker, to the coordinator of the initiative of the small project, Professor Sander Münster from the Time Machine Organization, to give us an overview and explain to us what's all about, why to invest in this sector, and what's, let's say, this what the European Commission and especially the Directorate General for Regional Investments would like to see at the end of the day from this initiative. Sander, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Yes, first of all, many thanks, dear distinguished participants, dear Marinos, for having opportunity to present about the partnership today. I have to confess, I'm really impressed about the importance and relevance this topic of digital tourism is having in Cyprus, and also really nice to have seen about the activities you are doing and performing in Cyprus. So I would like to present briefly about this interregional partnership on virtual and smart cultural tourism. And as already mentioned in the beginning, this is an activity which is driven out of the Time Machine Organization. So please allow me, before coming to the partnership itself, to say a couple of words about the Time Machine Organization. So Time Machine Organization is a research initiative based in Vienna, but of European scope, with a specific focus on big data technologies for history and cultural heritage. It was initially founded as a flagship CSA from between 2019 and 2020 with the objective to prepare a research program with a 10 years term together. Focal points in that context are AI and 4D technologies. And within this development of the funding of this research program, beside research and development activities, so for instance, we are very happy to taking part as a subcontractor in the EU 3D RICI study at the moment, which is coordinated by the Cyprus University of Technology and Marinos Ioannidis. Besides these research and development activities, one of our focus areas is on exploitation and cooperation structures, but also on services and infrastructure. So meaning access to funding, competency development, technology platforms, but also legal support and transfer platforms. And in that context of those latter 2 points also stands this partnership I will present to you within the next slides. Let me have a quick look on Time Machine organization. And as an organization, we are formed by 700 direct members, amongst them around 200 top academic and research institutions Europe-wide, but also a large number of private sector partners, from small companies, SMEs, up to large-scale players like Ubisoft, Flixbus, or Iconem. We are also very pleased about having around 200 CLEM institutions amongst our members, amongst them 18 national archives, 9 national libraries, and also various society and industry associations. So for instance, the ICOMOS, the Internet Archive, Wikimedia, and various chambers of commerce. One activity to have also a regional network and a networking approach versus Time Machine organization is that we are maintaining a number of so-called local time machines in all over Europe, but also beyond. So this network of currently 30 local time machines are multi-stakeholder initiatives about city, about regions, and connected to research, to education, but especially also to valorization. So examples are, for instance, UR tour guides, but also data analysis approaches for visitor management and digital exhibitions. And those local time machines are independently acting, but directly supported by the time machine and also maintained as a network by Time Machine organization. So that's in a brief presentation about the Time Machine organization. Now I'm pleased to switch to this interregional partnership of virtual and smart cultural tourism and present you about the approach, but also about the objectives related to this partnership. So let me quickly start with the question what interregional partnerships are. The program of interregional partnerships was established by the Commission, as already mentioned, specifically by DG Regio, but also by several other DGs connecting here, for instance, DG RTD, but also DG the GRC, for instance, and other DGs. And this program was established in 2018 originally. The objective of this program is to connect regions and to support an interregional innovation within a specific sector. And that brings me to an important point here. Those partnerships are not projects, but they are structures. And as those structures, they are mandated to generate projects as a kind of incubator, but also to report about the development of the sector to the European Commission. And as mentioned, those RTDs, EAC, for instance, and GROW and Regio and RTD, for instance. And currently we are having around 25 partnerships in different sectors appointed, plus also various partnerships which are currently under formation. So at the moment we are having 37 of those partnerships, each of them with a specific thematic focus. As virtual and smart cultural tourism partnership, we got appointed for pilot phase in 2021. And that is where we are standing now. We are having a pilot phase in order to setting up the partnership for a then following operation within the next years. So what is a vision related to this partnership? So one of our ideas and visions we are having is, what if museum visits become exciting and attractive even for young visitors? So what you see here is an example of our partner Ubisoft carried out in Paris as an on-site environment, and with the effect to attract 14,000 visitors within a period of 5 to 6 months. Another idea is to explore destinations via devices, mobile ones, but of course also desktop ones and so on, and have an idea about those destinations evolved over time, but also connect to valorization, to information about touristic destinations, restaurants, hotels, and so on. And of course, it is related to the question of business opportunities. So what are business models arising from those technologies, and being able to connecting those technologies to valorization and also to additional values for a region, for touristic providers and for touristic provisions. So against this background, we are covering both. At the one hand, it's a question for supporting remote visits. So visitors coming from abroad and visiting in a virtual way a specific destination, but also connecting to additional values regarding to that, for instance, in advertising products and so on. Vice versa, it is within our scope to support virtual applications at a specific site, for instance, to provide a visitor guiding and so on. As a partnership, we are having 3 objectives we are following. At the one hand, it is about networking, so connecting stakeholders within specific regions, but also beyond and across specific regions. Also, it is our core focus and our mandate by the EU Commission to develop a set of 2 to 4 prototypic business cases until the end of this year in order to overcome bottlenecks, but also in order to leverage this topic of virtual and smart cultural tourism in a cross-regional way. And finally, it is our approach not to have only those the demo cases and specific developments, but also to installing support structures in order to being able to support this region, also to support virtual and smart cultural tourism also in a broader way and in a pan-regional way. We are really happy to have 7 partnering regions in our partnership at the moment. So that are regions from several countries, from 6 countries in all over Europe. And this will be a network increased during the next years also to other regions. And a very important part of our network here, of our partnership, are of course persons. So at the one hand, we are happy to have some core staff with us. So Lutas Aydogan as a coordinator and Andrea Di Anselmo as the lead business developer for the partnership, but we are also very happy about having a numerous regional starting advisors as persons which are connecting us to the specific regions. So at this point, many thanks to Marinos Ioannidis for being available as this advisor for Cyprus. In the partnership, we have already achieved several points at the moment. So we had up to now 6 regional workshops with around 90 institutions, companies, and research institutions, but also ministries taking part here in each of the region. And also we have organized a matchmaking event with 500 participants in early June, and with several EU DGs taking part and presenting specifically about funding opportunities. What we also did is to operate a stakeholder survey to identify specific bottlenecks, but also to identify candidate business proposals and demo cases. 30 of them has been identified up to now. Let me have a closer look on this question of what might be those business cases and business proposals. And one idea related to that is that to have a digital application toolkit. This stands again in the background of the challenge that there are plenty of applications and digital content available, but they are very often designed for very specific purposes, and they are expensive and complicated to create, and also not long-term secured in many cases. The idea of this digital application toolkit is to provide a framework and also templates for digital tools and content as a kind of curated library of tools serving different demands, as for instance virtual museum applications, but also virtual city guides, or also cross-regional collections and portals for digitized assets. And this framework would include, at the one hand, of course, technical capabilities, so for hosting and maintenance, for dissemination also, and advertisement, but also connected educational programs, and of course also business support in order to creating valuable business models around these applications. We already started in a cross-regional way to test and to develop this kind of general business model, and specifically also a cross-regional and also a transfer approach related to that. But what will happen in the context of the partnership is that we are nominating various demo cases where we are testing and developing from this set of a toolkit. I have provided to you here a list of those proposals related to this toolkit. So, by the way, one from Cyprus was to establish a digital or cultural tourism tools for rural areas and villages. A second business proposal is about a digital innovation toolkit, and this stands against the challenge that specifically research and business innovation are often weakly linked in that field of digital cultural tourism and heritage, and also that it is mostly highly specialized SMEs working in this field. The business idea, or the idea for this digital innovation toolkit, is to provide support structures and services, for instance, to underline or to support the market entry, to support licensing, support for startups, but also access to financing for stakeholders in that field. And the design idea for this innovation toolkit is at the one hand to adopt extant service opportunities, for instance, provided by the European Commission and European subsidiaries, but also from the regions. It includes them in such a tailored offer here, but also to develop specific services for stakeholders in order to close the gaps which are not covered specifically in that field of cultural heritage and digital tourism at the moment. Also here, I would like to point out some demo cases. One of those demo cases is a recently founded European Cooperative Society. And this is an activity where at the moment 10 SMEs companies are involved, which are financing also the activities of this cooperative society, and which is specifically focusing on the creation of business chains in that field of digital heritage. So the idea is to combine the services, the offers by those highly specialized SMEs into those more comprehensive servicing chains. So for instance, that for an archive, the archival digitization, but also a integration into a database, but also the connection to acquired 3D and 4D content, but also the valorization in terms of cultural tourism offers, for instance, would be created under one umbrella, but include various highly specialized companies in that field. A second example we are now working on in this partnership is project scouting. Project scouting is something we started to develop last year in the respect of the Time Machine organization. And project scouting is at the one hand a support structure for stakeholders, for matchmaking, for application design, but also for consultancy concerning relevant programs on an EU level. But also a second point is to give advice and provide feedback about specific topics in that field of digital cultural heritage and digital cultural tourism to their funding bodies on various levels. So that is something started last year, and for us it is an important point also in order to support and to scale up a support in the context of this partnership, to being able to trigger and to initialize those projects to leverage virtual and smart cultural tourism together with the stakeholders. Also here we have a set of additional demo cases we are now looking at, and we are now collecting and examining. So for instance, it has been frequently requested to have support structures to develop a transition from research projects into companies, but also it is a question for capitalization, for funding access for small companies, and also it's a question for a cross-regional marketing, and also in order to have structures big enough to be seen, to be recognized also by international customers and tourists and visitors, and being able to have this visibility for a community. So what comes next? In the context of the partnership, we are now at this point where we are examining and assessing the demo cases, and where it is our next objective to identify 2 to 4 demo cases until August 2021. Until the end of this year, until the end of 2021, it is a set achievement that we will develop the interregional business plans for those cases. And of course, it is one important point to showcase how this would work in a practical way, and that means that we achieve to realize at least one of the demo cases until the end of this year. Let me have a quick look on those business and investment plans we are creating until the end of this year. So the idea is here to include, or what is included here are, of course, market analysis, but also a set of key partners to involve key resources, but also, of course, a valorization chain in terms of how financing of those specific activities would be secured in a mixed way, and also how to approach this, or what will be a timetable, a schedule for realizing those specific business cases. So maybe let me quickly point out why it would be maybe worth to join this activity. At the one hand, we are creating those demo cases in close relation and in close connection to the regions. And of course, a main and important point related to that is to attract additional third-party funding also in a mixed way, that it is not only project funding provided, for instance, by the Commission via the specific programs open for these partnerships, but also to have, in addition, also private financing and also, I would say, other models of refinancing integrated here. Another important point is to communicate support demands to the regions and the EU. So what we are, or what is also part of our duties, is to create a list of bottlenecks and demands in the regions. And this is something where we already have retrieved a close monitoring, not only by the DG for Regio, but also by the other DGs responsible to tourism, for instance, GROW, but also JRC. And of course, this is something which is also the starting point in further work of those DGs in that specific field. We are also working on specifically on this development of services, or let's say we already prototyping several services, for instance, this already mentioned project scouting. And this is something which is opened up also for the members of the partnership, so it would be directly usable by stakeholders of the partnership. And finally, it's about matchmaking with our regions, about networking, and of course, the opportunity also to exchange with our regions and to come into contact with our stakeholders from regions. Let me finally invite you to taking part into that survey we are currently conducting. And this survey is specifically designed for not only asking for your highly valued opinion and feedback about, for instance, bottlenecks, but also proposals for business cases or for demo cases, but also to register as an institution and therefore getting in the information loop, or being in the information loop of the partnership. So please let me kindly invite you to taking part in the survey. And finally, I would like to thank you once more for your attention and interest, and also for the great organization of the workshop today. And in case, of course, I would be happy to answer questions and have your response. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandab, for the very nice presentation and up to the point, what's all about and how the future is going to be very soon. Things are changing, I will continue now, take now the floor, continue and share my presentation and show to you a small video clip which we prepared following the presentation from the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Communications and Works, which is responsible for the archaeologies, for the Department of Archaeology, and in general, the culture. An example, Palette, the monument, the last cycle, the full support of the European Union, just digitize and preserve or to walk in the background or have available specialists like archaeologists and so on, but also for a wide audience of people. So digitization means having the knowledge, access to knowledge, for a wide range of not only for tourists, for example, or for a specific group of UNESCO World Heritage listed monument, the Panagia of Asino, where the application is running in a variety of devices and available, of course, in all different places of the world for access. So digitizing, we are not digitizing only the monument, we digitize the content, the frescoes, the icons, we digitize the content of each one of these items. We merge together, we prepare it in a such a way so that, as I mentioned earlier, will be used by a variety of users. Important here is that the data sets are accessible online and accessible for research, for education, but also for exploration and so on. So here, a nice example of the monument. I mentioned earlier, we digitize everything. We digitize the liturgy, we digitize even the priest. And the priest is welcome to this monument. We are preparing the content in such a way to be used in a very innovative way to students, to even tourists, in such a way so that there's an entertainment and not just an exploration city and And of course, here, the investigation of the space. Submarino is also all about a game. And here you see monument, conversation, in the form of a game.
St. Theodore Stratolattus and St. Theodore Turin are depicted on the east side of the north door within the same panel.
Here, cooperation with the Department of Antiquities. We are moving now from the 1,000 years to 500 years. In the medieval time period, where you see traveling but also in the way to explore not only the story, but also the architecture of the monument. And of course, the game is continuing. And the tourist or the visitor again has the opportunity in the virtual space to get an idea of what it's all about and what it's happening. But also from the roof of the castle, using now a different type of technology, HoloLens, for example, you have the opportunity to get that information, how it was over the time on that place, and what was the main reason for the construction of this monument. And here, in relation to this, what Sander explained to us earlier, our time machine, over the medieval time period, here in Cyprus, and of course the application related to the monuments using the power of videos, games, and so on, as I mentioned to you earlier. Here, the case of a short presentation in the form of a video of a battle at the castle of Colossi, castle which is not so far away from the city of Limassol. This joint project, in which the Department of Antiquities is working with us together, closely with us together, is going to have its results very soon. And I think in the next few months, we are going to install in each one of these famous castles an info kiosk, which is going to be, of course, a link to the internet, the content of this application that you see here. So the visitor to the castle, to the monument, will be able to travel over the time by using text, images, video, and 3D, and explore the story or the history of the monument as such. Get an idea where the person is, but also what was the reason why to have that object or this building there. That's the first part of the application. And the second one, which I wanted to present to you, is this here, which is now we are moving out of the 3D, but we are going to the 2D digitization. We are digitizing books, images, videos, and so on. In the last 8 years, we digitized over several hundred of thousands of images from the time since the first photographer arrived here on the island. And we share this content with the rest of the world by using the main portal of the European Union, which is European. Here you can see all of our local partners, villages, councils, using or reusing a part of this content by merging that or bringing the story together from the different villages near the monuments. And here is the last part of my presentation. Thank you very much from my side too. And we will now proceed with the next presentation coming from my colleague Antonis Theocharos, who is a specialist in this domain. and he's going to present to us a part of their work and of this, what they do.
Good afternoon.
Andonis, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Marino. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to present this in your workshop. I'm delighted and I'm honored at the same time to present this in this workshop where interesting work by colleagues from Cyprus and abroad has been presented. I was very much pleased to see the work by Professor Münster about the smart specialization and the fact that inter-regional alliances and partnerships are being promoted. This is what has to be done in order to achieve the strategic target of the European Union for smart specialization. I have been the scientific coordinator of the study on smart specialization in Cyprus, and I'm always very glad when I see initiatives that they endorse smart specialization, and then they also promote its application and enhancement. At the same time, I was quite, to be honest, confused, disappointed, and I'm not blaming anyone. I also include myself for the situation. From the fact that there's also so much polyphony, so much segmentation, so much repetition from the various initiatives that are being implemented in Cyprus regarding the development of applications or initiatives that aim to enhance the touristic experience. I have seen a very interesting presentation by Mrs. Stylianou, the presentation by Mr. Spirou from the ministry. Again, is wonderful what I have heard, especially about the Enter-CY project. And what I have seen is that we all have developed more or less similar things. And the problem is that we do not have a common, let's say, ground to coordinate efforts, avoid repetition, and develop something unique that at the same time will be more sustainable. I will continue with my presentation, and I'm sure it will be proven at the end of the presentation that we commit a mistake that has been taking place in Cyprus at least since 2000, when I have returned from abroad and I have started working in the tertiary education sector. And it's a mistake that we repeat all the time. And we have, in fact, duplication of work that is being done by other colleagues. Basically, what I will be presenting today is the Mythos platform, which is basically an online system for the enhancement of authentic touristic experiences through digitalization of cultural and natural tourism capital. Mythos comes from the ancient Greek mythology and basically relates to the process of a tourist finding his or her way around the island. What we have done is a very big data collection process. We're using the S3 set of tools from the licenses that we have at the university. We have developed a list, database of points of interest and thematic routes. When we're saying we have 8,000 points of interest, we're talking about churches, viewpoints, bird watching points, places of cultural interest, monasteries, you name it, everything that relates to the touristic experience and can be potentially something of interest for the tourist. They were collected with full description, geographic coordinates in 3 languages, we're working now on expanding our translation, but you understand that 8,000 points of interest, we're talking about thousands of pages of translation. And also we have digitalized 31 cycling routes, 31 nature trails, all the wine routes, cultural routes, religious routes, and hiking routes. And also we have developed in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism. Basically, this is a project free of charge for them. It will have cost a lot of thousands, but as part of our collaboration with them, we have developed the authentic Cyprus routes. It will be presented by the minister early September, and it includes the authentic Cyprus routes with description, using a very, I would say, attractive and impressive website, the local products route, the smoky taste route, lace routes, honey route, herbs and fragrance route, Citos and Artos route, milk route, and so on and so forth. We have 5 districts: Lycosia, Limassol, Larnaca, Paphos, Amohostos. We have the 30 municipalities, and we have 349 communities. And we have developed the main categories of Midos, which are religion, natural environment, specialized forms of tourism. What you see there are the logos were developed by a graphic designer, and they are specific. Each one is specifically developed for each categories, each interest category. Local products, sports, accommodation, services, accessibility, recreation, transportation, and cultural heritage. And under this, we have also subcategories with specifically designed logos. We have interactive maps, we have nature trails, we have the cycling routes. For the cycling routes, basically, I will show you later on, we have used GoPro cameras, and we have recorded in 360 degrees all the cycling routes. The cyclists, they now demand more information. They don't just need the elevation profiles of the route. They prefer to have an experience, see the route before engaging and basically cycling along the route. So we have done this in order to offer a complete experience before having them joining this experience. Of course, we have used part of the videos to be loaded on our application using a YouTube channel. All the videos will be loaded in their full version on the YouTube channel. We have point-to-point navigation from, let's say, the hotel that the tourist is spending his or her holidays in Larnaca, and they can actually, if they want, they can go to Aios Nikolaos Tistegis. They can go using point-to-point navigation, and along the route we have a recommendation agent that, according to their interest, the tourist can be directed to some additional points of interest. Users will be able to make profiles and join the community. We really want to enhance and motivate crowdsourcing as a way of developing and sustaining the application. A very big problem that we have here in Cyprus is that we develop applications, and after the project finishes and the funding is exhausted, the application remains there without any development and updates. And of course, we know that an application is based on dynamic information, and if it remains unupdated, if it's not updated, basically it will just cease to exist, and people will stop using it. So we want to enhance and make sure that there will be a tomorrow for our application. And for this reason, we have developed connections with the industry, with the Ministry of Tourism, and we are basically trying to ensure that there will be a continuation for our project. We also have augmented reality. Very interesting to hear that, and to see why they have augmented reality as well. It would be a wonderful opportunity if we can join forces and have our augmented reality experiences. Those that Marinos has developed, who is the leading figure in Cyprus on digitalization of culture, and also our colleagues from Frederick, the Ministry, and the University of Cyprus, in order to collect them together and offer them and promote them to tourists. We also have 360 VR videos, and these are basically being endorsed and being included in our application. Here I have a video, but because of the quality, it will not be very much visible during my presentation. We have basically 360 degrees VR option for giving experiences to tourists. The analytic hat of Hierokitia. We have also developed again a markerless web AR, and basically that's it. What I wanted to stress before closing my presentation is the need, is something I have mentioned at the beginning, and I really want to stress this point, is the fact that there are various initiatives. Luckily, because we are based at the same university with Marinos, we have collaboration, coordination, and we have received help, guidance, and also Marinos has offered to use some of the points of interest that he has already digitalized in our application. I strongly believe that we have to come together, all the bodies that we are dealing with the area of tourism, to join forces, coordinate efforts, share our resources in order to make these our product offerings, our service offerings more attractive, viable, and sustainable. Thank you, Marino, for this opportunity. My contact details are available. I will be very glad. I know we have had a meeting with Mrs. Stylianou. I will be very glad to, we have already presented Midos to them. I have seen now that they have used an already existing digital platform from Geomatic. It would be good to provide them an update with what we're doing. We have already been contacted by the Paphos Tourism Development Authority. They want to develop something similar. Of course, our aim is still the same. We want the Ministry of Tourism to coordinate efforts, to be a center coordinating body that will help all of us to, under a single umbrella, to house our resources and offer them in a coordinated way, that's the key word, in a coordinated way to the final users, that will be the tourists. Therefore, a smart tourism, the smart tourism approach demands collaboration, demands coordination in order to be successful. Thank you very much, Marino, again for the opportunity.
Thank you, Antonis, for the very nice presentation, and congratulations for your platform. We are moving now to the last one presenter from a colleague coming from the Cyprus Field Museum, actually the coordinator of the Cyprus Field Museum and the inventor, Mrs. Kristaleni Lazaru. Kristaleni, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marino, for this opportunity to present our work and how it relates to your project. Can I share my my screen?
Yes, please move forward. Antonis, if you can please unshare your screen.
Yes, I think Antonis has to stop sharing because it's the message says that I cannot start sharing while the other.
Yes. Now you are available. Yes.
If you allow me, Marino, I will have to congratulate Kristaleni. I know her since 2005 that she wanted to do this digital food museum. I'm very happy to see her again. And I'm following her work, and I will contact her because we really want to see how we can collaborate on this interesting project that she's developing.
Thank you very much, Andoni. It's a lot of years. Years pass very quickly. and time passes very quickly. Just a moment. Marino, can you see my screen?
Yes, and if you can go please to the presentation mode. You are in the development mode.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Thank you.
okay.
Now you can move forward. Yes.
The Cyprus Food Museum, which I represent, it's a virtual museum. This is the first page of our virtual museum. As you may see, it is divided in 6 thematic units: foods, recipes, typical menus, places of food production, techniques of food preparation, and traditional utensils and tools that have been used for food production and food preparation. This project has been developed as a research project with the coordination of the University of Cyprus. And therefore, as you may can see, the web page is hosted in University of Cyprus server. We have view this project and all the material from any aspect that can be viewed. So we have recorded historical material, archaeological findings, some statistics of food production. We have recorded people about the traditional recipes and how they have used food in a traditional way. And so we have recorded every aspect that can be presented for this food virtual museum. We have developed the first digital depository of its kind, at least in Europe. We have not made another one similar. And until now, there are more 1,005 and 700 entries. And each entry, as you have seen, has a lot of information. The main goal is to, of course, to showcase and present the Cyprus gastronomy and its historical evolution since prehistoric times until today. And how this relates to the topic, to the digital tourism. Well, many people from other countries visit our digital depository and try to learn things about the gastronomy. We have a lot of visits from all over the world. A main limitation of our depository is that it is only in Greek, and we have many requests to translate the material in English, at least in English, but due to economic limitations, we have not moved to this work until now. We have produced also a series of films on Cyprus gastronomy, and these films are projected now in CYBC, the state television, and people from other countries can see our gastronomy. And because of our material, we have we are receiving from time to time several requests from people that want to visit Cyprus and learn about our local gastronomy and participate in food tours and food workshops. We are a very small organization. I am volunteering to it, and due to economic restrictions, we cannot develop things that should be developed. In spite of this, we have organized in the past some trainings for people visiting Cyprus and some workshops, food workshops. We have collaborated with local people from Bafos area and organized these trainings. Some screens from the online database. You may see, and here some numbers about the how many people visit our webpage. Until now, we have recorded more than 3 million page views, and each week it's been visited by about 3,000 to 5,000 users. We have visitors from a lot of countries, but there are countries that have Greek-speaking people. Year by year, we have a continuous increase of the visitors. But now we see a small decline, but because I think our webpage is an old one, it's more than 10 years, and now we have to update it and reconstruct and make it more modern to attract more people. In the past, and 5 years before, we have developed 3 digital tools, 3 gastronomic tools, one about the wheat, one about the olive oil, and one about the wines of Cyprus. We also have organized the tours in reality, and documentary was produced on the participation of these tours. The only tour that has been translated in English because of a small grant we have received from the Cyprus Tourism Organization. It is the grape and the wine tour, and these tours are in the internet and can be visited from people that want to learn more about these basic food products of Cyprus and would like to visit some sites that are related to the topic of each tour. In the past, we have included in our webpage 3D visits to other ethnographic food museums in Cyprus. However, because of the old technology, there is some time that these 3D tours cannot be, are not working now. But we are in the process of reconstructing our webpage. We believe to start in few months, and step by step we want to also include these 3D visits. Another digital application we are now developing is based on an educational program we have developed in collaboration with the Bank of Cyprus Cultural Foundation. It's called Something Ancient Cooking. And this program was targeted to small children, the primary school children. But now we are in the context of a small European project we have and a grant from the Bank of Cyprus Cultural Organization. We are going to develop an application, a digital application, and it's going to be translated also in English. And this can be reached from children from all over the world. And this is our goal to make because it deals with the Mediterranean diet and the roots of the Mediterranean diet, to make it known in all over the world. And some photos of the documentaries we have produced. They are also in Greek, but now we are trying to find money and translate them in English, because there are a lot of people from other countries asking for them, and there are universities in the field of ethnography and folk and cultural studies that want to buy them, and so we have to translate them. Another thing that we have done and helps to make Cyprus gastronomy known in the rest of the world is to register some important food items in the list of intangible heritage of UNESCO. We have so far registered the traditional products, and we have coordinated an application with 12 other applicants, mainly community municipalities, and also have registered the carob in the UNESCO heritage. And these are two of our publications, which have been translated in English, and we are trying to put them in the airport, so interested tourists can buy them along with this publication about the street food. So this is all about our input to your project. And if anyone has any question, I'll be happy to answer it.
Thank you very much, Kristaleni, and congratulations for your project. Very nice presentation. We are now coming to an end and to an open discussion. Of course, open to any comments, remarks coming from the participants. It is interesting to know also your feedback. It's also very interesting for Santa to get this feedback or to the initiative here. Donis made a very strong comment at the beginning that we need to collaborate in such a small island. Cooperation is needed. It's a must. It's actually a precondition. We are no more than 7 or 8 different entities working in this particular area. And I'm sure that if we join forces, the result will be even better, but not even better, but also the impact and added value for everybody involved, as well as for the island. Any comments? So then that was an image, a very small one, but in a high resolution of what is happening here in this particular area. Cyprus started late, but this doesn't mean that we are behind others. In Europe, especially, I would say that the work which has been achieved up to now, it's of a high quality and of a level to be used directly on the market. On the other side, we need really an overall coordination, and it's not only the Deputy of Tourism, but also the Deputy Ministry of Research, Innovation, Adonis, which can help and support here. It is the ministry which is directly related with our collaboration. We here as a university, we will take the initiative and call for a meeting in October probably, and bring all those who are involved in this area on a round table. Let's hope that the pandemic will allow us to have this meeting in a physical form, in a person, and see where we are and what we can do as a team together, and not in different kind of initiatives, seeing that from the point of education or research or industry. So by saying this, and if there are no any other comments coming from the audience or any other, anybody wants to say something? No? Then I would like to thank all the speakers, all the colleagues, Mrs. Maria Stylianou, Andonis, Christaleni, our two representatives coming from the ministry and the parliament. And I wish to everybody a nice afternoon, and hopefully we will see each other very soon. And thank you very, very much. See you soon.